Welcome to True Crime Case Files, the podcast that delves into the darkest and most intriguing criminal cases. In this episode, we investigate the tragic story of Lacey Grosbeck, a 17-year-old student who met a horrifying fate at the hands of an issue that plagues schools across America: bullying. Join us as we uncover the chilling details of the shocking crime. In the quiet suburb of Rocklin, California, known for its top-notch schools and family-friendly atmosphere, Lacey Grosbeck, 17, was not just any teenager. She was a beacon of hope and perseverance. Despite facing more challenges than many her age, she pushed forward with unwavering determination. Lacey was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia, making her academic journey tougher than her peers. Additionally, she had significant vision problems, requiring her to wear thick glasses that became an unfair target for bullies. Lacey's life in Rocklin, a town nestled in the Sacramento metropolitan area, was a blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary. She attended one of the local high schools, where she was known for her kindness and her efforts to overcome the educational hurdles she faced. In March of 2007, the world around Lacey was buzzing with the usual suburban activities and the early signs of spring. The local news was filled with stories of the upcoming Easter celebrations, and the airwaves played hits from artists like Beyoncé and Justin Timberlake, whose songs dominated the charts. However, Lacey's interests lay beyond the pop culture phenomena of the time. She was passionate about making a difference in the world and often spoke of her dreams to help others who faced similar challenges. She was an active member of her school's community service club and spent weekends volunteering at the local library, helping younger children with reading difficulties. As March progressed, the residents of Rocklin were unaware that their community would soon be rocked by a tragedy that would leave an indelible mark on their collective memory. Lacey Grosbeck, with her dreams and aspirations, would become the center of a story that would reveal the darker side of teenage life and the devastating impact of bullying. On a seemingly ordinary morning in March of 2007, the quiet suburb of Rocklin, California was about to be forever marked by a tragic event that would send shockwaves through the community. Lacey Grosbeck, a 17-year-old student with dreams of a bright future, met a horrifying fate that would leave a lasting impact on all who came to know her story. The weather that morning was unremarkable, with clear skies and a gentle breeze. It was the kind of day that Rocklin residents had come to expect in early spring. Little did they know that this day would be forever etched in their memories. Lacey's lifeless body was discovered in a place that should have been filled with laughter and joy, a playground. This grim scene was stumbled upon by a passerby named Patty Chin, who was simply going about her day when she came across the chilling sight. Shock and horror washed over Patty as she realized the gravity of the situation. She wasted no time in contacting the authorities, her voice trembling with fear and disbelief. The once vibrant playground was now a haunting tableau, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in even the most innocent of places. The Rocklin Police Department swiftly responded to the distress call, understanding the urgency of the situation. Detectives Mark Cassavetes and Lisa Ambrell arrived at the crime scene, their dedication evident in their every move. The playground, once a place of innocence and laughter, was now a haunting tableau of tragedy. As the detectives approached the scene, they were met with a chilling sight. Lacey Grosbeck's lifeless body lay motionless on the ground, bearing the marks of a vicious and brutal attack. The extent of her injuries was horrifying, with visible signs of severe beatings and burns inflicted by an iron and cigarettes. The air was thick with sorrow, and the ground stained with her blood. Detective Cassavetes, a seasoned investigator with a keen eye for detail, immediately began examining the area for any potential evidence. He meticulously documented the crime scene, capturing every minute detail, from the position of Lacey's body to the placement of the iron and cigarette butts. Detective Ambrell, known for her thoroughness and dedication, began interviewing witnesses, starting with Patty Chin, and gathering information. The playground was a popular spot for local children to gather and play. It was surrounded by lush green trees and colorful playground equipment, creating an idyllic setting that now served as a stark contrast to the gruesome scene before them. March of 2007 was a time when the community was supposed to be celebrating the arrival of spring, filled with hope and anticipation for brighter days ahead. The news of Lacey's murder quickly spread throughout Rocklin and beyond, gripping the community with fear and sorrow. Local news outlets, including the Rocklin and Roseville Today, provided continuous coverage, urging anyone with information to come forward. The case also caught the attention of other media, drawing comparisons to other high-profile incidents of violence against young women. The community, gripped by fear and grief, rallied together, determined to find justice for Lacey. They held candlelight vigils, their flickering flames illuminating the night sky as they mourned the loss of a promising young life. Flyers with Lacey's photograph were plastered on every lamppost and bulletin board, a desperate plea for information. Detectives Cassavetes and Ambrose meticulously collected and analyzed any potential evidence, hoping to uncover the truth behind Lacey's horrifying fate. They interviewed friends, family, and acquaintances, piecing together a timeline of events leading up to that fateful day in March. The investigation was meticulous and thorough, with the detectives leaving no stone unturned in their pursuit of justice. As the investigation continued, the community anxiously awaited answers. The Rockland Police Department, determined to bring the perpetrators to justice, worked tirelessly to solve the case. The tragic story of Lacey Grosbeck had captured the attention of not only the local community but also the media, as news outlets picked up the story, shining a spotlight on the search for answers. In the investigation of Lacey Grosbeck's tragic death, a significant focus was placed on Kaylee Jamison, a 17-year-old high school student. Kaylee, known for her influential status due to her family's wealth in Rockland, found herself at the center of suspicion. She was believed to be the leader of the group that consistently bullied Lacey. The local police brought her in for questioning, aiming to peel back the layers of this complex case in the hope she would unravel the truth behind Lacey's tragic demise. The interrogation room became a battleground of conflicting emotions as Kaylee vehemently denied any involvement in the murder. Anger and resentment dripped from her words, revealing a glimpse of the darkness that lurked within her. During the interrogation, Kaylee's demeanor was marked by defiance, as she refused to cooperate fully with the investigators. Her voice carried a tone of superiority, a reflection of the privileged life she had led. The detectives pressed her, presenting evidence that linked her to the crime scene. Yet, Kaylee remained steadfast in her denial, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and arrogance. As investigators dug deeper into Kaylee's background, they uncovered a troubling pattern of bullying and manipulation. Witnesses came forward, recounting instances where Kaylee had orchestrated campaigns of torment against Lacey and other vulnerable individuals. The puzzle pieces started to fit together, painting a chilling portrait of a young woman consumed by her own power and entitlement. The police were determined to bring justice to Lacey and her grieving family. Their pursuit of the truth would not be hindered by Kaylee's denials or her high status, as Kaylee's family's position in Rockland's social hierarchy provided her with a certain level of protection and influence. Her father's connections and the family's ability to afford a top-notch defense lawyer made the police's job all the more challenging. They had to navigate through a web of privilege and power to uncover the truth. The interrogation of Kaylee Jamison marked a critical point in the investigation of Lacey Grosbeck's death. It exposed the complex dynamics of teenage relationships, the impact of social status on justice, and the dark underbelly of bullying among high school students. As the case unfolded, the community of Rockland watched closely, hoping for answers in a tragedy that had shaken them to the core. Another suspect soon came into focus, Matt Hughes, Kaylee's boyfriend. It was revealed that Matt had befriended Lacey, taking advantage of her vulnerability for his own gain. Shockingly, he was also identified as the father of Lacey's unborn child. The police interrogated Matt, seeking answers to the mysteries surrounding Lacey's death. As the investigation into the tragic death of Lacey Grosbeck unfolded, a shocking twist emerged from the shadows. Matt Hughes, the boyfriend of Kaylee Jamison, was revealed to have a deeper connection to Lacey than anyone could have anticipated. Not only was he involved in tormenting Lacey alongside Kaylee and her group of bullies, but he was also identified as the father of Lacey's unborn child. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community of Rockland, California, as the news spread like wildfire in the small suburb, known for its highly rated schools and peaceful atmosphere. The police wasted no time in interrogating Matt, hoping to unravel the mysteries surrounding Lacey's death. Detectives Mark Cassavetes and Lisa Ambrose meticulously questioned him, their determination evident in their every move. Matt's demeanor during the interrogation was a mix of anger and fear, as he struggled to come to terms with the consequences of his actions. As the investigation deepened, more details about Matt's involvement in Lacey's life emerged. It was revealed that he had befriended her, exploiting her vulnerability for his own gain. The community was left stunned by the revelation, struggling to comprehend how someone could betray a person they claimed to care about. In March of 2007, the small town of Rockland was gripped by the darkness that had infiltrated its once peaceful streets. The investigation into Lacey's murder took a dramatic turn with the revelation of Matt's involvement in Lacey's pregnancy. The community held its breath, hoping for justice to be served and for the truth to prevail. As the investigation continued, the town of Rockland was gripped by fear and sorrow. News outlets and media platforms buzzed with speculation and theories, trying to make sense of the tragedy that had befallen Lacey Grosbeck. The community rallied together, demanding justice for the young girl whose life was cut short. In a twist that would dramatically shift the direction of the investigation into Lacey Grosbeck's tragic death, a key piece of evidence was unearthed. On an otherwise ordinary day in March 2007, detectives discovered something that Lacey had left behind: her diary. This personal journal was found hidden away in a secluded spot, as if Lacey herself had wanted it to be found only when the time was right. The discovery of Lacey's diary was a breakthrough moment for the case. It was as though Lacey was reaching out from beyond, guiding the investigators closer to the truth. The diary was carefully examined by the police, who hoped its pages would reveal the dark secrets surrounding Lacey's untimely death. Lacey's diary contained entries that detailed her thoughts and feelings, offering a window into her life and the challenges she faced. It chronicled her struggles with bullying from Kaylee and her friends, her complex sexual relationship with Matt Hughes, as well as fights with her mother, Velma, shedding light on the dynamics that may have contributed to the tragedy. As the community of Rockland awaited justice for Lacey, the diary stood as a testament to her voice, a voice that refused to be silenced even in death. The investigation was now armed with a powerful tool, one that promised to bring them closer to solving the mystery of Lacey Grosbeck's murder. In March of 2007, the investigation into Lacey's murder took an unexpected turn when Velma Grosbeck, Lacey's mother, was named a suspect. Velma, a single parent struggling with alcoholism, managed a small local laundromat. Her life, marked by personal battles and financial hardships, became the focus of intense scrutiny. The police brought Velma in for questioning, seeking any clues that might link her to her daughter's tragic death. During the interrogation, Velma's emotions ran high. She displayed a mix of anger, confusion, and deep sorrow, reflecting the turmoil of a woman who had lost her child under horrific circumstances. Despite her troubled past, the suggestion that she could be involved in such a crime shocked those who knew her. Velma's life in 2007 was far from easy. She was often seen at the laundromat, working long hours to keep the business afloat. The small establishment, filled with aging washing machines and dryers, some of which bore the logo of the once popular brand Maytag, was her livelihood. The laundromat, located on the outskirts of town, had seen better days, much like Velma herself. The media caught wind of Velma's story, drawing parallels to other high-profile cases of the time, like the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, which had captured international attention just months before. This comparison brought an unwelcome spotlight to Velma's life, painting her as a figure of intrigue and speculation. Velma's interrogation was a critical moment in the investigation, revealing the complexities of a mother's love entwined with the harsh realities of addiction and despair. As the police delved deeper, they hoped to uncover the truth behind Lacey's murder, aware that the answers might lie closer to home than anyone had imagined. In a twist that could rival the plot of a crime drama, the truth behind Lacey's tragic murder was uncovered, revealing a chilling tale of revenge and betrayal. Kaylee Jamison, alongside her friends Amy Hartstone and Erica Hofberg, was found to be the mastermind behind the harrowing crime of kidnapping, beating, torturing, and killing Lacey. The motive? A tangled web of jealousy and retribution sparked by Lacey's sexual relationship with Kaylee's boyfriend and her bravery in confronting the bullying she faced. The investigation, which had gripped the community, reached its climax as meticulous police work pieced together the evidence. This painstaking process led them straight to the culprits. On an unforgettable day, under an overcast sky that seemed to mirror the solemn mood, law enforcement officials apprehended Kaylee Jamison alongside her friends Amy Hartstone and Erica Hofberg. Her arrest, a scene straight out of a primetime news segment, was met with mixed emotions. For some, it was a shock. For others, a moment of grim satisfaction as justice appeared to be within reach. The news of the arrest spread like wildfire, dominating conversations both in person and online. Social media platforms, still in their infancy in March of 2007, buzzed with updates and opinions on the case. Traditional media outlets, such as local newspapers and television stations, provided coverage, drawing comparisons to other high-profile cases of the time. As the reality of her actions began to sink in, Kaylee Jamison faced the consequences of her decisions. The arrest brought a complex mix of relief, sorrow, and anger to Laci's family and friends, who had been longing for answers and justice. The community, too, was left to grapple with the unsettling knowledge of the darkness that had unfolded in their midst. The trial of Kaylee Jamison, a case that had captivated the public's attention, finally commenced, marking a significant phase in the pursuit of justice for Laci. District Attorney Sarah Thompson took the lead for the prosecution, meticulously building a case against Kaylee. She presented a series of compelling arguments, supported by evidence that painted a vivid picture of the events leading to Laci's tragic demise. On the other side, top-notch defense attorney Michael Reynolds mounted a vigorous defense. He challenged the prosecution's evidence, suggesting alternative interpretations and striving to instill doubt in the minds of the jurors. The courtroom, a battleground for truth and justice, was charged with tension as both sides presented their arguments. As the trial unfolded, Laci's family sat in the courtroom, their faces a canvas of grief and hope. The media coverage of the trial was extensive, with local news channels and newspapers providing updates. The case was often compared to the trial of music producer Phil Spector, which was also making headlines in March 2007 for its dramatic courtroom moments. The community followed the trial closely, discussing the latest developments in coffee shops and on social media platforms like MySpace, which was at its peak in 2007. The trial's progress was a frequent topic of conversation, reflecting the deep impact Laci's story had on the public consciousness. After days of intense deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. The courtroom fell silent as the decision was announced. Kaylee Jamison was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Reactions to the sentencing were mixed, with some feeling it was too lenient, while others deemed it appropriate. The verdict sent ripples through the community, leaving a lasting impact on the lives of those involved. The trial of Kaylee Jamison not only brought closure to a painful chapter, but also highlighted the complexities of the legal system and the enduring quest for justice in the face of tragedy. After the trial concluded, the small town attempted to find a sense of normalcy amidst the turmoil that had unfolded. Kaylee Jamison's conviction marked the end of a chapter filled with sorrow and loss, but for many, the journey towards healing was just beginning. The verdict, while bringing a sense of justice, also reopened wounds for Laci's family and friends, reminding them of the irreplaceable loss they had suffered. In the weeks following the trial, the community rallied together, showing support for Laci's family in various ways. Local businesses, including the town's popular diner, the Cozy Corner, known for its classic American breakfasts, hosted fundraising events. The proceeds went towards setting up a scholarship in Laci's name, aimed at supporting students who were passionate about combating bullying, a cause close to Laci's heart. The police department, too, was forever changed by the case. Officers who had worked tirelessly on the investigation took part in workshops and seminars, some of which were highlighted in the March editions of law enforcement newsletters. These programs focused on handling sensitive cases involving minors and the importance of community policing, reflecting a commitment to learning from the tragedy. As for Velma Grosbeck, Laci's mother, the trial's conclusion brought a complex mix of relief and ongoing grief. She continued to run the laundromat, which had become a symbol of her resilience. In her spare moments, Velma dedicated herself to speaking about the dangers of alcoholism and the impact of loss, becoming an unexpected voice of strength in the community. The story of Laci's murder and the subsequent trial had a lasting impact, not just on those directly involved, but on the wider community. It served as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked anger and the ripple effects of a single act of violence. As life moved forward, the town, its residents, and especially Laci's family, embarked on a path towards healing, carrying the memory of Laci with them. The story of Laci Grosbeck serves as a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences of bullying and the depths of human cruelty. As we conclude this episode of True Crime Case Files, we hope that Laci's memory will live on, inspiring a world where compassion triumphs over cruelty and justice prevails. Hey, True Crime Case Solvers, interested in more real-life murder mysteries? Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And do you have any thoughts about this case or have a case of your own you'd like us to investigate? Leave us a comment. Until then, stay safe, True Crime Case Solvers.